Thank you so much for coming out tonight and taking a part of your day to sit and learn maybe something new. Maybe you've already know a lot of stuff about nutrition, but just a little intro about myself. My name is Sylvie. I come from Chelsea, Quebec, Canada, and my background nutrition comes from sheer passion, personal research, and also the fact that I've been competing on the fitness and bikini stage since 2004. So I've done like about 15 competitions. So I've learned a lot from my coaches. I learned a lot from my own research, and I've learned a lot about how to manipulate nutrition for competition, for body composition. And with my clients, we're all pretty much the same, but different people need different things. And so that's kind of where that kind of background comes from. I am a level 3 national cycling performance coach. And I spent 6 years racing. So I've used performance products in that kind of platform, and I coached girls in racing, so implementing it for performance improvement, and just in my family, because it's not just about being me being healthy, it's about everybody around me who's in my family being healthy. So I hope that I can bring some great content to you here. And it's pretty basic. It might be some things that you already know, but maybe it's some things that you didn't realize. And I have all your questionnaires here, and we have a variety of different needs. So I can't address all of them today, but maybe I might answer some of your questions. And at the end, I'm going to give you the opportunity to book a free 30-minute consultation with me so that I can actually go over very specifically your particular needs when it comes to nutrition and helping you get over some of the struggles that you're having in certain areas. Because like I said, we have people who, struggle with missing meals, snacking at night, big one for a lot of us, right? Not eating enough while exercising, that comes down to nutritional timing, and that's very detailed. So if you're that person, make sure that you book that 30-minute consultation with me when at the end, you'll be getting an email with the link. So just make sure everybody's muted as you come on in. Thanks a lot. Now then we have the weekend indulgence. I love that. A lot of that happening these days, right? Ever since December started, maybe even Thanksgiving in the United States. So the weekend indulger. Talk about that, and the sugar cravings. So imagine you could find a good nutritional system or even make shifts in your whole food eating that will eliminate cravings. Imagine that happening. Oh, it does. It's true. It can happen. So what we're going to be doing is, and through some of the tips that I have here, implementing them are essential to getting and releasing some of those things. So another couple of course, is weight loss and then weight management, which everything kind of goes hand in hand. So, so let's get into our tips and I have a little slideshow here that I'm going to be following. So I can't see you guys once I share the screen, but here it goes. Oop. Hold on, where are you? Okay. So let's just get this one. There we go. Perfect. So like I said, welcome to the nutritional webinar, everybody. And we're going to get into our agenda, and I'm going to be very cognizant of the time because I appreciate keeping the time, and I don't want to keep you any longer. So we've got 30 minutes to talk. We might have time for some questions afterwards. And so I went through the group questionnaire, and everybody, I just want to say thank you for taking the couple minutes to fill that out. Like I said, it gives me a great amount of information that I can kind of talk on. But like I said, everybody's very individual. I'm not going to be able to touch on everybody today and your issues, but you know, helping you work through some of the struggles. And like I said, take the advantage of booking a free 30-minute consultation. It's worth $150 to just sit down and get that conversation started before Christmas hits. Okay. So, and then, you know, you can kind of start, I can give you some things that will really help you make your holidays a lot easier. So, you know, that traditional 5-10 pounds over these holidays is probably not just the holidays, probably like the 6 weeks starting from December 1st. Can you not agree? Everything starts, parties for this, for that, anyways, travel and stuff. So take advantage of that. And also following this webinar, there is a virtual party. You got an invite for it. Take advantage. You're going to learn some really cool stuff about great tips for the holidays and some nutritional ideas. All right, so rules to live by. We're going to talk about protein intake and protein pacing, daily water intake, sugar intake. So I hope you have your pens and papers to take down some equations and some statistics. And calculations, calculations, so that you can calculate some stuff for yourself. Fiber and minerals, and then sleep, and then nutritional timing. So we're going to get through that. Let's go to the next slide. All right, here we go. So you can take a snapshot of this, but I'm going to be going through each one of them. And we're going to start with maintaining healthy weight. So what does that mean? Well, we were all designed to be a certain weight. You know, the new standard these days is not what the normal weight's supposed to be. And it's different for everybody. So, but we do know that we need to keep our blood sugar level balanced. And doing that really assists with eliminating those cravings. So how do we do that? We eat and we really schedule out our daily meals. And this is so important, especially for those who are missing meals and struggling with sugar. So 5 to 6 times a day. So we know that our main meals are breakfast, lunch, and supper. And then in between, we have about 4 to 5 hours in between those meals that we have to budget in snacks. It is essential, because if you eat at 7 and then in the morning and then eat at 12, that's a long time to go without eating. So we really have to be aware of that and make the time to put together little snacks that you can eat that have some sort of protein in them, like cheeses and nuts and stuff like that. So scheduling our meals and snacks is so important. I can give you some great tips when we talk. You know, I work with a certain nutritional system. I've been working it for 6 years, and I mix it up with whole foods, and I will share that with you later if you like. All right, so now we're going to get into, drinking water and being conscious of the sugar and fat intakes. So let's just talk quickly about high fat diets. They're not very sustainable. I mean, they're great. I love adding an avocado a day. That would be a healthy fat for me to add and to eliminate some of the carbs. So that would be something that I would suggest. Now, drinking water and being conscious of sugars, having good energy, and sleeping well. So little rules to live by. The amount of protein that we need to take personally in on a daily basis. And this is always a big shocker for everybody because we always think that we are taking the right amount in, and it isn't even nearly enough. So if you take this calculation, well, it's not a calculation. So you take your weight divided by your weight times 0.75 or just 1 gram per pound. That's the amount of protein you're supposed to be taking in a day. So I'm like 130, so that's 130 grams, or say about 100. And so how are you going to get that? And you have to have protein in just about every meal: breakfast, lunch, supper, snacks. So these are the things that, like a lot of people have a hard time with is getting the right amount that gives you that equation at the end of the day. And getting the right proteins in is really going to help with maintaining your weight and weight loss. Okay. And also developing muscle, right? So like if you look at anybody who's an athlete, bodybuilder, they take in a huge amount of protein because they need it to develop muscle. And not that everybody wants to do that, but the reality is the older we get, the more protein we need to take in, because after we hit 30, we start losing weight. We start losing muscle mass because we're just not eating enough protein. And when you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or 60s and 70s, you look at our parents that, they're looking frail and because they become smaller eaters, and it doesn't consist of protein. So that one is a really big one for me, in making sure that, it's consistently enough every day. Now, daily water consumption by weight. So you take your body weight, divide it by 2, and that's the amount of ounces you should be taking in on a daily basis. So I just did mine. I'm like, I did 120 because it's easier. So that's 60 ounces. So I have my container here, and this one's 16 ounces, probably about 20 by the time you get here. So at least 3 of these a day, if not more. So making sure you have your water bottle and drinking it every day, and a lot. All right, so that's our drinking water, and water really helps the body flush toxins as well as maintaining the weight. Pop doesn't count, coffee doesn't count, it's water. And I put electrolytes in my water because I really don't like drinking water unless it's really cold with ice, and that doesn't happen all the time. So that's really, really important in our diet. Really important. Now, the amount of sugar. Guys, I brought some statistics out. I'm going to close. The only thing about sharing this is that I cannot see the time. All right. So sugar intake. So for men, as you see there, daily consumption is 9 tablespoons with 37 grams. And then women is 6 and then 25 grams. So I'm going to give you a couple ideas about how much sugar is in some of the food that we eat. So pop, Coca-Cola, is 9 tablespoons or teaspoons, which equals 3 tablespoons. And that's just one. So if you tend to drink more than one of those a day, ooh, can you imagine? That's your sugar right there, and you haven't even counted the food you ate. Next is Powerade. Oh my gosh, we feed this to our kids. We should all stop. 7 teaspoons, 2 tablespoons for one of those big jugs. Now, I found this I didn't realize this, but the body can only process 2 tablespoons of sugar at a time. 2 tablespoons. And obviously, it's probably the same amount as protein that we can only consume 5 ounces at a time in one setting and serving. And I forgot to mention this. So that's why we tend to break up our proteins a lot throughout the day. So it must be the same with sugar. Our body has to have time, like 2-3 hours to process it. So can you imagine if you're drinking a Coke and it's 3 tablespoons and our body can only process 2 teaspoons at a time? Now here's some other sugars. Okay, this is for the holiday people. A pint of beer, 9 teaspoons. Guinness, and I drink Guinness, 5 teaspoons. All right, rum and Coke, who are rum and Coke drinkers, 6.5 teaspoons. Red wine, it's actually lower than white wine, which I was surprised by, 0.25 teaspoons, and white wine is 2.5. And then ciders, so if you get into the ciders, is 5. So just thinking about that a little bit as you're, drinking your holiday bevies. And here's some chocolate bars for you guys who like chocolates. Kit Kat, 22 grams. So we said for an adult, it's 25 for a day for a woman. And if you eat a Kit Kat, it's 22. Wow. Snickers, 26. Boom. Busted. All you can eat is veggies, if anything, for the rest of the day. Now, let's move on to fiber, because anyways, I thought sugar is pretty interesting. We're just going to skip over, we're going to talk about sleep. And as you know, sleep is super important for weight loss and weight management. And if you're not getting a good night's sleep, you're overtired, you're overstressed, your adrenal glands are going through the roof, and it's very hard to lose weight. The same thing with drinking alcohol. If you drink alcohol on a regular basis and you want to lose weight, it's not going to happen. So the thing is that's sometimes where we need to really clean up our diet in order to get the results that we want. Sometimes we have to make some shifts, and it doesn't have to be forever, but it has to be for now, or for right now. Or so 7 to 8 hours a night. I mean, I get 6, but I make it up days down. Like I'll have like a couple 6-hour nights, and then I'll have an 8-hour night. So I never let it get too long where I start getting really fatigued and cranky. And I know it's not good for my body, period. I can just feel, I'm like, feeling bloated and tired, but I always make it up. Now, let's talk quickly about fiber. And this is some things that we just don't talk about. We talk about sugars and proteins and alcohols and everything like that, but we don't talk about fiber, which is so important. And people do very little of looking at fiber. They always look at sugar when they look at the ingredients. So daily, so here's some statistics. The average adult consumes 14 to 15 grams of fiber a day, but we're really required to have 20 and 35. So we're losing out a lot, and that all goes to the type of food that we're eating, we're putting in our bodies. So we're not eating the veggies, we're not eating the good carbs and other things. So imagine that you could, find something that would have all of that in it, and, plus the, you know, the proteins and the right amount of sugars that you can just eat really easily on a daily basis. I'm going to share that with you after. Oh, and then also the minerals. So if you're going to eat, so I got this here, and this is the top essential minerals for our body. So this is important to look at too, right? Because a lot of people are mineral deficient. And then we start, you know, supplementing with lots of pills, and we're paying lots of money for these pills. And sometimes half the time we don't even eat half of them. So we're wasting money. And I found it very, you know, like all these things really make up what we need on our daily basis. So if we're eating nutritionally poor food, then we're missing out on a lot of the essential nutrients missing from our bodies. So this is pretty much it. What are we? We have 4 minutes. Now I'm going to touch on a little bit about nutritional timing. So nutritional timing and protein, like I mentioned, protein pacing. So that's getting in your protein scheduled and periodically during your day. So you can see how the protein is important, the fiber is important, the right amount of sugar. It's all very, what am I going to do and what am I going to eat tomorrow, right? It's challenging. And I can only tell you that when your body is not getting those minerals and it's not getting the water and it's not getting the proteins, that's where you're creating those cravings for salts and sugars and the nighttime craving. So if you're missing meals, you got to get it in sometime. And I'll tell you a little story. So I did this challenge a month ago in November, and it was based on keto. So I'd never done that. As just interested to see how it would work and what it was all about. And but it was a lot of protein and was very, like, I went on 20 grams of carbs a day. That's insane. But 71 grams of fats, that's insane too. So, you know, through that, it was something I looked at. I needed a shock from my body because I've been one who eats the same all the time. And I just wasn't getting what I was looking for because I just did the same thing all the time. And this was a good shock, and it really gave me, you know, an eye-opening experience. But I lost like 5 pounds and like 9 inches. Can you imagine? A very, very interesting way of doing it. And a group of us are actually going to do this in January. So if it's something you're kind of looking at and you're curious about, the thing is about this program is that it was highly nutritionally supported. Okay, so it wasn't just keto, it was a highly nutritionally supported version of that. And that's all I could say. It's called the Pro Edge. We got 1 minute. And so anyways, I asked my husband if he would do it because he was kind of in the same state as me. And this was like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. And he's been okay. Like, I thought that he was, you know, he would struggle, and but he's really liking the change. And but he was a night snacker, right? And he ate lots of bread, even though I said no. But I'm very, very proud of him. He's, you know, his energy's accelerated. And when you do stuff like that, the energy levels change. So we're just sort of changing it. We're doing this before Christmas because we know what Christmas is going to be like. And we're going to do it after a little bit just to kickstart the new year. And I want to invite all of you guys to join me. So if anybody wants to unmute and ask any questions, we'll just take a minute. It's 8:30 right now. So I want to thank you so much for sitting in, and I hope you brought, I hope you got a couple really good nuggets of information that can help you, move forward. And like I said, a lot of people who had different concerns, I really encourage you to book that 30-minute consultation with me. You're going to get a link in about after this. Take advantage of that. Let's talk. Let me help you move forward and get to the goals that you're looking for, whether it's, to curb those cravings, have more energy. I wonder, there was one girl who's, or one person, I should say, who was, she's trying to lose weight, but she's restricting her calories. I need to talk to you. I had another vegan runner, need to talk to you too. So a lot of things, I know I don't think might have answered your questions. So it really is about a conversation after the fact, and taking it into a more personal line of how can I help you get to your goals. So, just imagine that I have something that can get you there. Take the opportunity. I'm also going to be implementing an additional webinar in the new year that is all on nutritional timing, and this is specifically for athletes with regards to your training and your racing. So with that, thank you so much. It's 2 minutes after. Thank you for hanging in. And have yourself the most amazing evening. Please join us at 9 o'clock for our virtual Facebook party. You'll get some great content there. We got some fun stuff going on. And what else I was going to say? Happy and Merry Christmas, and have a very safe holidays. And if I do not talk with you, have a safe New Year. Thank you very much. Over and out from Coach Sylvie, and I'll see you later. Thank you.